is The Masked Singer.
Oh God, no. No.
You see, I thought about that. The first 20 minutes I was like, oh, this is awful. And then you just get hooked because basically it's through the keyhole. It's all it is it's just guessing clues to celebrity. It's just a very elaborate setup for through the keyhole, but it's blooming addictive.
I've watched I've seen the trailers for the American version of the show because that's been running a couple of seasons now. When watching NFL games, and I had decided very strongly that I was not in favour of this show coming overseas to us. But obviously you enjoy it, so
it's good fun.
Celebrity guessing game, then, I suppose. But we've added out of tone singing.
But the funny bit is the first few weeks the celebrities were really quite low rent and they were very British. When I said the most, sorry if you don't want to spoil a look away now, but the most heard of celebrity in the first 4 weeks was Patsy Palmer. That was the highest level. So there
Someone who hasn't been seen on television for 15 years.
So you've got the bloke from The Hangover, Ken, whatever his face is, naming like Hollywood A-listers, and then it's like, it's Patsy Palmer.
Had he heard of any of the celebrities?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think he had. I think he'd had to have a briefing before they were revealed. The first one to go was the MP Alan Johnson. So it's like, that's the level of talent show celebrity.
The only Johnson I know is Johnson from a Beef Show. He's called Alan, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Anyway, what have you been up to in the last week?
Well, as we spoke about last week, I've been trying to spread out my recommendations. So something we saw a special offer on, basically, and thought sounds like the kind of thing I'd like to eat, was the Brew City range of frozen cheese-based goods, basically. And they sell themselves as, these are cheese snacks to have with beer, which right down my alley. Anyway, their halloumi fries are so nice.
I do like a halloumi fry.
I can... And get yourself some chili jam. We talked about chili jam last year, I think.
My mum does some very nice chili jam. So.
I'm up for a jar of that, Tim. I'm loving my chili jam, but halloumi fries with a bit of chili jam, I'm telling you, it's a golden occasion for everyone involved. So that would be my recommendation. In terms of life over the last week, I mean, Rugby League being back has been the main feature, but we're sat here recording at 10:15 now. One of my friends is up from down south, and I've spent all night talking to you about Rugby League. So I suppose next week I might talk about how I make amends for Luke on Tuesday night. But the Super Bowl, of course, was the main feature after that.
How superb was the owl?
It was a really, really good game. For anyone new to NFL, I'd say it would have been a great gateway game because it was really exciting. There was not too much technical controversy. You could understand everything that was going on, really. BBC do their coverage really well on that regard by not patronising but still explaining and stuff like that, which was really good. And the halftime show was it was a show. I mean, Shakira and J-Lo, they still got it. Them girls still got it. They can still perform. Shakira was miming for most of it.
They keep going for you.
Huh?
Those honest tips, they keep going.
Oh yeah, well, exactly. And there was so many J-Lo bangers that I'd completely forgotten about that. From the early to mid noughts, you'd go in a nightclub and it'd be on in all the nightclubs. All the cheesy nightclubs.
I worked in one of those cheesy nightclubs. Believe me, I know.
But I'd completely forgotten about some of them, so that was a nice blast from the past. But yeah, the Super Bowl was fantastic this year. It was a real nice break from having the fucking Patriots in it. So. Right, okay, next week. What have we got next week coming up? Well, I suppose we'll have some Challenge Cup games to review, which is fantastic. We've got all those Super League games we talked about before. Hopefully we'll get loads of fan reviews in on that. I hope we get a less stressful news week to cover, but we shall see. Nothing is guaranteed in Rugby League. But yeah.
I don't know. Administrators' incompetence is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, true. But they might not have to do anything this week. Normally they don't have to do that much, so they get by. I'll be at Castleford on Friday night. I don't think I'll be attending any other games this week, but I will be at Castleford on Friday night, and hopefully if anyone else has, listened to the show and wants to meet up with people at games, make sure you can connect with people on Twitter and Facebook and things like that, and say hello to people. We met some of the Toronto fans we met at the weekend, which was fantastic, outside the Mascot Brown stall at the Sky Rack in Leeds. We saw Rob and Kaz, who are pretty famous Toronto fans, aren't they? The ones with the flag.
I would go as far as to say the Toronto fans, but yeah.
Yeah, and some other guys were with them as well, and I must apologise that I didn't actually speak to them as much, so I didn't catch up too much on who they were, but it was really nice to see those guys. Good to catch up with Steve briefly too. And yeah, general, that's it. Right. Where can people find and share the show, Tim?
Anywhere where I can get back to my rundown, which I've definitely not closed.
At Super League Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We did put some stuff on the Instagram over the weekend.
We did.
I had to censor some of Rob's comments that he was wanting to add whilst we were doing it, but we did put some stuff on the Instagram. Facebook.com/Super League Pod as well. SuperLeaguePod@gmail.com. And SuperLeaguePod.com is where you can find all the details of the episode, all the things we talked about in the episode, like the Super Brew competition, the Dream Team competition. If you want to get involved in those, it's not too late to join. How to do match reviews, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, if you are a new listener and you've made it this far, well done. Secondly, drop us an email and tell us who you are, where you come from, what your team is, how you got into following them, all that stuff. Drop it on an email and send it over.
Yeah, we love that. We do love that. It's one of the favourite things of any year of SLP, the new people that come in and sharing their stories. You can search for the show to listen to it on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, pretty much anywhere you normally find your podcasts, and we're on YouTube too. Not videos for these shows, but there's some videos. Do you want to take people through our partner sponsors, including our title episode sponsor?
Yeah. Our episode sponsor this week has been Rob's Toy Shop. Anyway, you can enter SLP discount on checkout at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay and get 5% cash back on all your orders over £5. Plus, you can give 1% cash back to SLP. Our other sponsors are Little Warden, who are vital alerts for hidden issues and monitoring the tedious and various other things. Head to littlewarden.com to see what they can do for you.
Credit to Little Warden that they've managed to attach a tagline that we can't forget, even though it's from previous branding campaigns. Credit to them, definitely.
Our other sponsor are Mascot Browns for all your international rugby league gear. Use the link shown on our episode blog post and we get 8% of your order, which helps us with our running costs. And finally, Sarah's Bookcase, where Sarah sells Usborne books, and with access to over 3,000 titles from baby to teenager. There's something for everyone, and she also does work with schools as well, so do get in touch and find out more over on Facebook.
Yeah, just search for Sarah's Bookcase. Okay, you can make donations to support SLP if you so choose. PayPal.me/Super League Pod. All donations are hugely appreciated, large or small. I think I've run out of things to say. That was the longest rundown we've had for some time. The show has ticked in a little bit longer than what we would hope, but I hope people understand the couple of big pieces of content that we needed to cover. Do get your views in on any of the things we've discussed this week if you want to sort of have those rumble on, get your listener questions in. Also, obviously, make sure you get your fan reviews in on anything that happens over the next week in the wonderful world of Rugby League. But until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.